What's going on, all you gamers? Here we are in Cyberpunk 2077, and it seems like another day, another glitch or something to find in Cyberpunk, shall we say? And today we're going to be going over the item duplication glitch, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of insight into it. I'm going to be going over it a little bit more thoroughly than some other people because I feel like they've missed quite a few bits out. And also I'm going to be telling you why I think it may be in your interest to not kind of use it so much. If that sounds like it interests you, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you gamers. So yeah, there's been a new glitch found in Cyberpunk, and this one is one that's probably the easiest one to do in pretty much any game I've ever seen, and it kind of makes it so you can do everything. Now there's one going around at the moment where they're saying you can go out and you can do this quest. I'll chuck it down the bottom, and what it is, you'll get a special piece of map, and for that you can kind of use this to dupe it, and that way you can make as much money as you want. Today I'm going to show you how you can do that with nothing more than this and this. Now, just so you know, I will not be doing any refunds if you do break your thumbs, as there will be a lot of button pressing in this. But I'm also going to go over some of the other stuff you can do with the actual glitch, and then I'm going to tell you why I think you may not really want to be perfectly honest. But yeah, let's crack on. So to actually do the glitch is really ridiculously straightforward, and it involves a whole 2 buttons. So the first thing you're going to need is one of these. So if you're not sure what these are basically like a drop point location. They are seen on your map. So go into map, zoom all the way out. Anything that you can see that looks like one of these, like a box. They are your drop point locations. Basically, it's like a way that you can sell off your gear. They each hold 20,000 in eddies, and it's kind of like a really easy thing to do, so you don't have to run to traders as such. You just go to one of these drop points. But if you have a little look, when you go into this, there's a new thing that people have found, and that is if you press on the Xbox at the very least, if you press the select button, which is this one right here, and the button where it goes in, which is the Y button on Xbox. So whatever those 2 buttons are, you need to remember. So for whatever you're playing on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, this button that gets you to your kind of resume screen, and this button that gets you into the vendor. So like I said, it's select and Y on the Xbox. Now what you're going to do is, if you wanted to activate this glitch, you have to press both at the same time, and if you've accidentally done it slightly wrong, it will go to this screen. That means you haven't done it correct. If you've done it correct, you go straight into the actual drop point. Now once you're in this bit, because you've pressed both of those buttons, it's actually glitched it out. Now don't worry about that part for the moment, I'm just showing you the whole process. But what it is, I'll show you. So for example, if what should we sell? Right, so say for example I've got one of these, which is a legendary jacket. If I chuck that to sell, now if you have a little look at my money, and this is another thing that I want to go over, 209,000 I've got there. So I'm going to put this over there. It's worth almost 2,000 each. So 210,000, and it said buyback was about 2,000, I think. But now if you look, buyback is 50,000. Now you're going to need to remember that. So we're on 210,000, and that, like I said, rather than going into this normally, so when you're selling your original first item, you would have gone into that normally. You'll just go in and you'll hold Y, and that was when you sold that first item, like you saw. But if you want the glitch to work, when you next go in, you press Y and select on Xbox at the very least, or whatever it was corresponding to what I said earlier. And now you're into it. Now because that other menu, the one that says resume, hasn't come up at all, I know I've done this correct. And now I can basically buy as many of these as I actually want. But watch, because I've been told that this costs no money whatsoever. That isn't true. It does cost you money. So say I want 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you won't actually see anything happen, you'll just have to know by kind of seeing it actually press on the actual item, and you knowing by you pressing it how many times yourself, or what you'll probably be doing is just spamming the button anyway if you wanted loads of something. Now if we come out, if you have a little look on the left hand side, it's saying we've looted 3 of those jackets. Now if you have a look up on the top right as well, it's basically cost me 50,000, so it's cost me the equivalent of buying it once. Now it doesn't always work out like that, but it does always cost you some money. So where people are saying it doesn't cost any money, on Xbox at the very least, it definitely does, or it has for me every time. And now if we go to our inventory, and go to our backpack, and go to our clothing, like I said, obviously I had 1 in there already, but then I've got 3 back. And if you have a little look, they're all like this. So yeah, basically you can do the same with any of them. Now one thing to note, because obviously you've seen that with Legendaries, so you know it works with Legendaries. One thing to note, and this is quite a big thing, if for example I do this with, there we go, I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to chuck, let's see, we'll chuck one of these in. So I've got rid of both of these, coming out, and then what I'm going to do is go in and do the glitch. Now these are both epic items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the part that's a bit tricky, and you can't really blame the game because, well, this isn't supposed to work. But if I come out now, you'll see that I've looted Crushers and I've looted the Omaha. So if I go into my inventory, so if I go into my backpack, and I'll go to weapons, I don't have them. And the reason for that is because now they are all common variety, which is a bit pants, to be perfectly honest. It's not the best. So basically your epics you may want to stay well clear of. Your legendaries seem to work, which is a bit strange because legendaries would be the one you did want to work. So like I said, you can actually duplicate any kind of legendary. You could do this for certain things, like for example, say you had mods. If you had legendary mods in certain pieces of clothing, you could duplicate them all, then take out the mods. There's lots of ways now so that it will work in your favour. Another one is, and this is probably the easiest way, would be to get infinite money now and get it ridiculously faster than you would be able to anyway else, other than probably that mission that I was talking about earlier. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think I'd bother with that if I could do this unless I was around that mission point, because obviously if you can make money a bit faster, it is always good. I wouldn't go out of my way to do that if I could do this in its stead. And like I said earlier, all you're going to need is basically one of the drinks from one of the vending machines located anywhere around Night City, and your thumb. And you're definitely going to need your thumb. But all you're going to do, you go into sell, you're going to go over to your very last one. Oh, no you're not, sorry, you're going to go over to this one, fourth one along, basically your consumables. And then all you're going to do, make sure you get rid of any single drink. So all it's got to do is say that, applies the hydration status, which increases max stamina by 10% and regen by 50% per second. basically you should have some of these. If you haven't, then just buy it from somewhere. Obviously you've got Nicola, you've got Sirius, it's whatever one you want to do. Cirrus, sorry. But yeah, so today we're going to show you with that. So I will click on that, and then I'm going to leave it. And then, like I said, I'm going to go straight back to it. I'm going to hold select and Y at the same time, or press both at the same time, sorry. It's literally, just in case you're struggling, it is literally just tapping them both at the same time. Don't hold on to anything, just tap them both at the same time to go straight in. If it comes up with that menu like I said earlier, or it comes up with a menu then this screen, it's not worked properly. Come out, try it again until you go straight through to this screen. But now, and here's the science part, we're going to buy this back. But we're going to buy it back a million times over. I have no idea how much you can actually hold of this. I would honestly say, for myself, I would create a save point before you've done any of this, just in case anything goes wrong, or just in case anything glitches out because you're glitching it. I myself probably wouldn't recommend doing this too much. I don't know how it would affect your game further down the line. I don't know if it could screw it up, but it all depends if you want to do it. I know a lot of people will be, so it's completely your choice. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut to basically a minute forward from here when I've kept pressing this, and then we'll see how much we can actually make from it.
Few moments later.
Right, so I've done that for roughly 1 minute, maybe a tiny little bit over, but roughly a minute. And from that we've got, oh, if I go into the right bit, 579 of the Cirrus Cola Classic. Now, what you're going to need to actually make this work perfectly will be on your character. You will need to have at least this one right here. Level 1 passive, Mechanic. Gain more components when disassembling. If you were going this skill tree anyway and you had a spare point, you may want to put it into this, but you definitely don't need to. You'll make as much money as you want with just this one. So to be perfectly honest, I'd only do this if you're thinking about it for other stuff. And now what you're going to do, you go to your backpack again, go to your drink, hold on to Y to disassemble them, set it to max, disassemble, and we've just got 3,700 and 1,700 of these two, or just over on them. Now, because you're already at this vending point, you're going to go in and you're just going to sell them. And the reason that you can tell that basically it costs you money when you buy things and such is because the drop point only has 20,000 and it now has 108,000. So you are being charged to actually duplicate, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. It seems to be kind of once on some items, and on others it seems to factor in some other kind of thing. Yeah, so what you're going to want to do from this will be to go over to here, go to your very last one, go all the way down to where the green ones was, the uncommon and the common. So for example this one, and then click on that and sell all of them. So from that you've made 13,000, and from the ones down the bottom, just down here, you've made 18,000. So from the looks of it, you will be making, minus whatever it costs you to actually purchase them obviously, or glitch them, you'll be making roughly 30,000 every minute or so if you're doing this technique. Because the only reason our money is down is because I was showing you the other way with the purple items and the legendaries. So this is a really good way to make money, and to be perfectly honest, if I was going to do anything, it might be just to make a little bit of money in this and then leave it. Right, so that's how you actually do the glitch. Now, my point of view on the glitch. Honestly, I don't think I would probably do it. I might make a little bit of money, like 50,000 or something like that if I was struggling, But ultimately, if you're going to do this and get all of the legendary stuff, dismantle everything so that you have all of the mods, dupe every one of the guns and such, and just kind of make it so that you've got everything in the game really early on, I don't know how much longer you'll be playing the game for. It may well ruin your experience. I would highly recommend not using this glitch as such. I really would. I don't know how it would affect your game later on. I myself have done it 1 or 2 times to test it out, and I've got to admit I had it glitch out within it and I couldn't. So say for example I did it with the jackets. I've had it a few times when the jackets spawn with, I think they had no armor. They had no armor, and all the mods came up with variants saying 0 something type something. Basically it was like it shouldn't exist because it was just a prefix. So it can glitch out and not give you what you're after. It can happen sometimes when I've had it where I couldn't click on these for a little while to equip my character. Also, when you're selling, this is something they don't tell you, when you're selling something that is of very, very high value. So say for example I had 20,000 eddies, and I thought, oh great, I'm going to go and sell that legendary thing, and then I'm going to buy loads of them back and make loads of money, or dismantle it, or do whatever I want to with it. If the buyback price is above what you're holding, you can't get back your item. So if I show you this one, if I put in this one, I believe when I put it in there, I'm pretty sure it comes up with 150,000 eddy buyback. Now if I don't have 150,000, I'm not going to be able to buy 100 of these. I'm not going to be able to, glitch out 100 of these. I'm not going to be able to get any. So honestly, there are a few drawbacks with this. Obviously it is a glitch, and you could make it work in your favour more than anything else in the world. You could make it so that you could completely break the game and have most things by very early on. Very, very early on, especially with the money. You could make as much money as you want with this glitch. But honestly, all in all, if it was me, I would highly suggest, at the very least, not really doing the duplication glitch on all of the goods as such, as I feel it will kind of ruin your overall cyberpunk experience. But again, it is completely your choice. That is what these type of games are for. They are all down to choice. So if that's what you wanted to do, you very well could. But it may well mean that it kind of limits your experience, as you won't ever want anything in the game, and you'll kind of be overpowered throughout the whole of the storyline. Right, that's my 2 cents. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time, and I'm sure most of you have binned it off and you're at one of these drop points by now, kind of spamming it for money or something. But as always, I hope that's helped some of you. And if you'd like to become part of the Sofa Squad for all things Xbox and for all things gaming, then hit that subscribe and bell icon. As always, take care. I'll see you on next day.